It started like any normal winter morning in Aspen Ridge, a quiet suburb where everything looks like it was pulled out of a real estate brochure. White fences, trimmed hedges, and the occasional passive-aggressive note about garbage bins. It was 6:07 a.m., and I was out in the cold with my thermos in one hand and my old gas-powered snowblower in the other, clearing the fresh snow that had blanketed the sidewalks like powdered sugar on a sad, store-bought donut. I'd already done my driveway, the sidewalk in front of my house, and, because I'm not a monster, the section in front of my neighbor's place too. That neighbor? Her name's Valerie, and Valerie is not like the others. She's the self-declared compliance coordinator of our HOA, even though no one voted her in. We didn't even know the HOA had a compliance role until she invented it. She walks around with a laminated badge and a clipboard like she's auditioning for Neighborhood Watch the Musical. But I wasn't trying to provoke anything. Valerie's in her late 60s, barely leaves her house in winter, and has a walkway that turns into an ice rink every snowstorm. I figured clearing her sidewalk was just a decent thing to do. I wasn't asking for a thank you note or cookies or even basic eye contact. I just didn't want her to break a hip going to get her mail. Then it happened. I had my earbuds in, jamming to an audiobook, when I noticed her across the street, robe on, phone in hand, staring directly at me. At first, I thought maybe she was recording me for one of her infamous HOA violation compilations, you know, like top 10 lawns that ruin the neighborhood aesthetic. But no, she wasn't filming. She was calling 911. I killed the engine just in time to hear her yell. Yes, he's operating some kind of industrial machine. It's loud, it's gas-powered, and it's pointed toward my residence. I feel threatened. I stood there, flabbergasted. "Valerie, I'm clearing your sidewalk." She didn't flinch. "That's my property line. You're trespassing and using unregistered equipment. This is a violation of HOA Article 19B, which doesn't exist." I checked, but before I could respond, 2 police cruisers pulled up, like we were filming CSI Snow Patrol. One officer, Officer Grant, who's been here so many times he should start paying HOA dues, stepped out and gave me that look. That "not this again" look. "Sir," he said with a sigh, "we got a call about a possible threat involving snow removal equipment." "Really?" I said. "Is that what we're doing now?" Valerie jumped in, waving her arms like she was directing traffic in a blizzard. "He aimed that thing toward my basement windows. He could have damaged my shrubbery. He never got written permission to operate machinery on HOA-controlled easements." Officer Grant turned to me. "You got coffee?" "Yep," I said. "Want one?" "No," he smiled, "but I think we're good here." I figured that would be the end of it. I finished the sidewalk, rolled the snowblower back into the garage, made myself some cocoa, and tried to laugh it off. But then I saw the envelope taped to my front door. $75 fine, unauthorized snow displacement, subject to compliance review. That's when I realized this wasn't about snow. This was about control. Valerie wasn't just annoyed. She was laying the groundwork for something bigger. Within days, I received a formal email from the HOA's new oversight officer, A guy named Dennis, who, surprise, surprise, just so happened to be Valerie's cousin. The email was full of made-up legal jargon and a fabricated article from the HOA handbook. Article 19B, Section 3. No resident shall operate gas-powered machinery beyond their parcel boundaries. I asked for the original bylaw. No response. Just another warning. So I decided to show up at the next HOA meeting. Now I expected some passive-aggressive energy, maybe a stale cookie or two. What I didn't expect was Valerie leading a full-blown PowerPoint presentation titled Boundary Breach, the Snowblower Threat. She had aerial maps with red arrows, photos of me clearing her sidewalk like I was invading Normandy, and even sound wave graphs to show the decibel level of my snowblower. Irrelevant, she said, coldly, when I tried to explain my intent. Intent does not excuse the breach of HOA jurisdiction. I was stunned, but then something amazing happened. A new neighbor, Chelsea, stood up in the back. Valerie, she said, was it you who used a leaf blower on my porch last week? Because my Ring camera caught someone in a leopard print robe rearranging my doormat. Valerie stiffened. That was neighborly assistance. I noticed debris. Chelsea smiled. Funny, because I thought machinery use on someone else's property was a violation. The room lit up. You could feel the tide turning. People who'd been silent started muttering. Wait, she fined me for putting up string lights after New Year's. She cited me for leaf pile misalignment. She charged me $50 for a wind chime that she said caused disharmony. It unraveled fast. Valerie had been creating fake rules, printing them on official-looking HOA letterhead, and collecting real money from her neighbors. Not to the HOA account, but to a P.O. box she rented herself. Total? Over $2,500 in fake fines. We brought everything to the next board meeting. Emails, fake bylaws, even scanned checks. Valerie tried to gaslight everyone with some "I acted to maintain community standards" monologue, but it was too late. The HOA voted unanimously to remove her from the board. Her fake title, gone. Her power, poof. Her laminated badge, left behind in a recycling bin like a defeated villain's cape. But Valerie wasn't done. 2 days later, I woke up to find her ancient Buick parked across the bottom of my driveway, completely blocking me in. Coincidence? Not a chance. Her scarf was tied around the gearshift like a signature. I called the non-emergency line again, and Officer Grant showed up again. This time, he ran her plates. Turns out the car was still registered under her ex-husband's name, who'd been deceased for 3 years. That's not just petty. That's a city ordinance violation. She got ticketed. Her car got towed. And she snapped. That afternoon, she stood outside, shoveling snow back onto my freshly cleared driveway. Like a snow-themed protest ballet. Then the city permit office showed up. Somebody, guess who, had filed a complaint that I was operating a commercial snow removal business without a license. I laughed. I cleared her sidewalk for free. The inspector just shook his head and said, "You've got a fan." But the final blow came when someone, probably Dennis finally growing a spine, leaked Valerie's emails. One had the subject line, Operation Frost Control, Strategy to Dismantle Non-Compliant Residents. She'd made a spreadsheet. She had a nickname for me, Blizzard Boy. She even drafted a containment plan in case I retaliated. Oh, and she wasn't done faking bylaws. We discovered that over a dozen of her violation letters cited completely fabricated sections. She even signed them with a made-up title, V. Remington, Interim Civic Safety Liaison. Her plot? Collect fines, keep the money, quiet the neighborhood. But the receipts? They snowballed. After a full investigation, Valerie was banned from the HOA permanently. She had to refund every dollar she took, faced municipal citations for fraud and document falsification, and, chef's kiss, was sentenced to 100 hours of community service snow removal. Yes, the woman who once called the cops on me for using a snowblower on her sidewalk was now legally required to snowblow public sidewalks, wearing a neon vest, with a city supervisor watching. The final scene, her clearing the same sidewalk she once called a threat zone, while a group of kids walked past, giggling. One of them called out, "Hey, Miss Valerie, don't forget the curb." She didn't answer, but I swear I saw her grip that shovel like it had betrayed her. And now? The snow's falling again, the sidewalks are clear, and no one's getting fined for festive lights or bird feeders. We even put up a plaque at the spot where it all began. It reads, "Here stands the sidewalk that survived Valerie." So, what do you think? Have you ever had a power-hungry neighbor or HOA nightmare? Drop your story in the comments below. I read everyone. And if you've ever cleared someone's sidewalk and got thanked instead of ticketed, you might just live in a sane neighborhood. Stay warm, stay kind, and most importantly, don't let anyone weaponize a snowblower.